Get ready. It's Fight Night in Youngstown with your host, owner and editor of YoungstownBoxingNews.com, Brian Whan.
We are back at it, man. No Vinny today, but we got a very special guest here. Probably the best-known trainer in the city of Youngstown, the trainer champions, Jack Loew, and we're going to have a good show with Jack. A lot to talk about. He's going to discuss his upcoming show in May that he'll be putting on at the Liberty Metroplex, and first time the Metroplex has probably seen a fight in some years, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably Kelly was probably the last one I fought there.
And, hey, you're going to be out in Atlantic City this weekend. Alejandro Popo Salinas getting back at it. Roughly 1 year to the date almost from his, I wouldn't call it devastating loss to Segawa, but kind of a surprising loss. And we'll touch on that. And actually, that's where Vinny's at. They started heading out that way. They're not quite in Atlantic City. I think Vinny said they're kind of in Philadelphia area, right across the border there.
They're in New Jersey. They're just outside of Atlantic City.
And Jackson trusted Vinny to help Popo get ready for this fight, and I like the matchup that he's got. I think it's a great comeback fight for him, and and no fights are easy in boxing, but there's how it goes. But it should be a win to get him back on track, and we'll see how it plays out. So a lot to talk about. I'll touch on a few things. This upcoming Saturday, make sure you download the Bellator app. Former guest Dalton Rasta, Newcastle native, is going to be making his Bellator debut in MMA. I've kind of messaged back and forth with him, and he's pretty much calling a first round knockout. So we'll see how Dalton does. Dalton does not lack confidence. Danny Rosenberger suffered a 6th round unanimous decision loss to Kendrick Bell this past weekend, and right outside of Boston in Worcester, he was fighting for the New England middleweight title. Guy was 6'3". Danny's probably, about 5'11". He just had troubles handling the height. This upcoming Sunday, spaghetti dinner for Burnside's Boxing Club. I believe it's $10. We'll be at that DVSD's out in Struthers. Donavito's, or is that what it got? I'm doing this off the top of my head. But Donavito's out there in Struthers. I think that's on South Bridge Street. That will be between, I want to say, 12 and 3. I got the ticket in my wallet, which is in my car, so that does me no good. But I got it on my website, so I'll pull it up and get the right time for everybody here. That will be between 12 and 4 at Donavito's, $10, 135 South Bridge Street in Struthers, Ohio. Take kids off the street, spaghetti dinner. Hey, so we're going to dive right into it with Jack Loew. You got a fight coming up this weekend for Popo. It's underneath a new promotional company that he's with, Rising Star Boxing, is it, based out of New Jersey? And is it exciting to, see him get back in there after a year off? You think it was a year off that he maybe just needed to get his head right?
Well, you know what? He took around 4 months off. Probably around 4.5 months. Yes, I think it's something that he really needed. I think he had to have a little gut check to see where his mind was at, and he came back very strong. He's been sparring for almost 5 months now. I know a lot of people would think that's over sparring him, but I think he's done nothing but get sharper and sharper. The kid we're putting him in front of, he's a veteran of like 38 fights. He has a very lopsided record. I understand that, but I wanted to put him in there with somebody with a lot of fights, not a lot of wins, not a lot of knockouts, just somebody that's rough, rugged, and has a lot of fights, and is going to test his heart again.
10 and 28, 31-year-old Mexican native Pablo Capel.
That's close enough.
Capel. I didn't figure out to pronounce Jairo Vargas's name till 2 weeks after the fight, so I was calling him Gyro.
Yeah.
No, you're right, man, and you just don't want to take that record for granted of this guy, or it's a little deceiving.
With a couple undefeated kids.
He's been in there with some names.
Right, so he's durable, and that's what I said. I wanted to put him in with a tough kid, somebody very durable, just to test his heart. I know Popo has the talent. He has all the tools to make a champion, But if you're going to lack that heart and that desire, when we step up the next level, it could be dangerous, very dangerous. And I would want to see no young kid get hurt. So I think this is a great test to see where he's at.
And you know what? We saw what Popo was capable of doing on national TV in September of last year when he defeated Duran Vu, who was came into that fight undefeated. And I thought Popo was an 8-round fight.
Right.
Worked him over the course of 8 rounds, and I mean, we both talk about after the fight and everything. I mean, his corner actually thought that Duran Vu's corner actually thought they won that fight. I was like, what are they? I don't know what
they lost almost every round.
Yeah,
Maybe gave him 1 round.
Yeah, Popo pretty much almost pitched a shutout there. But, in talking to him in his last fight, before his last fight coming into Youngstown, it almost sounded like to him, he was almost a little disappointed fighting in Youngstown. It was almost like a step back from, being out in Vegas or whatever. So I'm wondering if maybe, getting on the road here for Atlantic City might actually do him a little bit good, too.
Well, I want to keep him away. I don't want to say I want to keep him away. I wanted him to get out and fight again. We signed with this Rising Star promotion with Tommy LaManna and them. And they do a lot of their fights in Atlantic City, New Jersey area. So we'll be fighting up there quite a bit. He may be on my next fight. We don't know that yet. Even they may put him on our show. We don't know what we're doing with him. I just thought it'd be good to get him away. And there was a lot of variables going into the last fight. And there's no excuses for anything of it, but and I'll take a lot of the blame for it.
Absolutely. What's the athletic commission like in New Jersey? That's something me and Vinny always talk about when we talk to people who deal with athletic commissions. And it's hard to make fights in Ohio. I mean, there's no bones about it. People know that. We had Mike McSorley call in the last show. We talked about the Pennsylvania commissioner. I can't think of the guy who always wears a tracksuit.
Serb.
Yeah, Greg Serb. We're talking about Greg Serb, and McSorley kind of alluded to the fact that when you build up a fighter's record in Ohio and Pennsylvania, you're building up almost an honest record that maybe carries a little bit more weight than building up a record in we'll just say a thrown stowaway in West Virginia, where you got an athletic commissioner that are
but listen, right? The thing of it is this: you have to be able to build a kid up in his hometown. There are certain commissions that just won't let that happen. It's absurd. It's ludicrous. I mean, it just doesn't make sense why they would want their hometown kid, to go in there on a last minute notice against a 10-0 kid for no reason at all at a hometown fight. It's ridiculous, and that's why people don't come to Youngstown, Ohio, or anywhere in Ohio and put on a lot of boxing shows.
And that's right. I mean, you can get the main event usually pretty approved, but I heard that the last time they had a fight in Showtime, what was that, November of 2017, they had fights up there in Cleveland on Showtime, and I heard that they had a hell of a time trying to fill in the undercards and stuff.
Absolutely.
And,
the main events are always passable and easy to put together on the show. But then again, you're talking about Showtime, that you get TV money. When you're putting on club shows, we're limited what we could take out of our pockets and afford to lose on these fights trying to build up a fighter. I wish people see all these crowds at my show and they say, oh, I wish they could see my bills after the fight. We do great shows. We have great crowds, and but it costs a lot of money to put these shows on, and I put them on so I could build these records of these kids so they can get a chance to go out there and maybe make some big money one day. Not to have to fight 10-0 kids in our backyard.
And I want to get this out there. We're talking about making money on shows and stuff like this. And me and Vinny talk about this is, people that don't get the credit they deserve. And, Jack, when I said, when I got divorced, I said, I'm going to start a boxing website. I love boxing. Jack, he welcomed me with open arms into his gym. If it wasn't for Vinny and Jack, I wouldn't have the leads where I have. But one thing, I go down to Southside Boxing Club at least, once a week, and usually, and I just hang out. I observe. I BS with Jack. We talk about the upcoming fights, on the national radar. And one thing I've noticed is Jack doesn't take money from people. I mean, and that's what people don't realize. So when he puts on these shows, a lot of that money is going right back into the gym. That's how the gym sustains itself. And so, when you see Jack Loew on the streets or whatever, man, thank this guy for what he does with a lot of these kids and stuff, because he's done a lot of good in this area. And it's just, I know a lot of people think, oh, he made all this money during the Kelly Pavlik years. That money doesn't last too long. I mean, and that's how it is in this sport. You got to capitalize while you're in it, but this guy does a lot for the area. So make sure you give him a pat on the back.
Well, thank you, Brian. I mean, here's the thing, Brian. We in 31 years, I've never, ever charged a young kid, an amateur kid, to work out in our gym. And I'm not bragging about it. I'm not patting ourselves on our back. Yes, I was fortunate to, have Kelly come, but me and Kelly worked extremely hard from 9 years old all the way up to the middleweight championship of the world. And, how much money I made with Kelly and what money I got left for Kelly is really nobody's business what I do. And I think I've taken care of the youth around Youngstown quite a bit. And like I said, I'm not asking for a pat on the back. There's trainers all across the world, all across the United States, everywhere that do what I do. And my hat goes off to all of them. Some of us are just more fortunate, maybe get more recognition, have that right guy walk in our gym. But like I said, people say, oh, you're lucky Kelly came. Well, I'm lucky he walked in my door. Absolutely. But I worked my butt off to get to the middleweight championship of the world with this kid. We went through hell. And, what about the first 18 years having the gym before Kelly and I struck gold? Nobody ever said anything about all the money I was taking out of my pocket to put into the gym, to pay the electric, the gas, the water, the rent on the building, to all the equipment to take the fighters to tournaments. All of a sudden, kid wins the world champion, and I make a little bit of money, and everybody, oh my God, now people just don't get it. But listen, man, I love what I do. I did do very well with Kelly. I've had some other fighters that done well on HBO and Showtime. Willie Nelson, Danny Williams, even Billy Loew going overseas with him.
I love the Billy Loew stories you tell,
listen, man. If Billy Loew had a punch, he would have been the second middleweight champion of the world from Youngstown, Ohio. When we went over and fought Sylvester in Germany.
No doubt about it, man. Billy, and we just talked about that too, man. Billy just had a punch. I mean, and that was the thing, man. If anybody wants to look up a fight, man, go look when he beat John Duddy. And I still can't believe one of the judges actually gave Duddy.
And I looked right at that judge, and he couldn't even look me in the face.
Oh, how do you do? That was what was that, 10-round fight?
Yeah.
That was a 10-round butt whipping.
I had it 8-2.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's exactly what I had.
I was so shocked when they said we have a split decision, and I was like, oh, we're going to get hosed. But everybody on Top Rank was waiting for the results. They were listening for the fight. They were real excited about it, and because my son was out there with Kelly, and I was leaving from there to go out there, and like I said, then Billy pulled off that big win, and I flew out to Top Rank, and it was great.
What kind of doors did that open for Billy? Did Sylvester fight come after that or before that?
I think it came after that.
So it opened up some doors.
Yeah, I think I wish it could open up a little bit more here. The kid deserves some decent, maybe some bigger paydays. Billy left it all in the ring, that's for sure. He was limited in talent, but he had more heart and balls than any fighter I've worked with. And I seen him spar with Kelly numerous times, and just take some horrendous beatings. But at the end of the day, he was standing there like nothing went wrong that day. That's how tough he was. And believe me, I seen what Kelly did to some sparring partners. And Billy was just one of those guys. Even when he would get put down to a knee, bam, get right back up and start sparring. When we went over there and fought Sylvester for the middleweight championship of the world, if Billy Loew was able to punch without a doubt, he stops this kid and he becomes a middleweight champion of the world. We were hitting this kid 5-1, but Billy, every time he would hit Billy, his counted, and it caught up to us later in the fight.
Good old Billy Loew. I was there for his pro debut. That was on the Cafaro Field fights, I believe, at Eastwood.
ESPN,
Yeah, ESPN. Clarence Bones Adams. And Bones Adams is one of my top 3 favorite fighters of all time. So that was a good night for me. So, hey, if you're just joining in, we got Jack Loew here live at you from the Gessler Propane Studio. He's going, when are you heading out to Atlantic City?
I am leaving Friday morning.
Friday morning, flying out there, and weigh-ins, I guess, will be
Friday evening, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock.
Friday evening, 4 or 5 o'clock. So, Rising Star Promotions, we already talked about Alejandro Popo Salinas getting back at it, and surprisingly, this guy's letting him, spend a few days out there ahead of time with whose seat I've taken, Vinny O'Neill. So, and I know Vinny's listening, so love what you're doing, Vinny. And I'll tell you what, Vinny just loves the sport.
Listen, man, I've tried different guys in my gym. I'm not getting any younger out there, and I've been doing this for going on 31 years. I was always looking for somebody that I could bring in and kind of carry it on the way I did it. And Vinny has been with me since he's 15 years old. And when he was interested in it, I brought him down and I told him what I expected. And listen, man, he has taken a bull by the horns, and he's ran with the amateur program. He takes these kids everywhere: Buffalo, New York, Cleveland, Akron. I mean, anywhere there's a fight, he goes. And he's worked really hard with some of these kids. He's put a lot of time into it. And the old Vinny Loew. I mean, Vinny O'Neill. I would never have let go to Atlantic City with my fighter. But Vinny's very, listen, man, he's doing well. He really is matured in his life. And listen, he had a great comeback fight. He's been working hard with the kids in the gym. He's been helping me with Popo, and absolutely, no, they're doing the right thing out there. Listen, it's all going to show Saturday evening. So they had to go ahead of time to get Popo some last-minute medicals up there, and I couldn't go because of work. So Vinny ended up taking my spot out there for the week, and like I said, I'm very comfortable with him and Popo out there.
Now, we can't mention Vinny because they say behind every good guy's man's a strong woman, and Vinny and Jen, they come as a team. And
well,
Jen
man,
Sharp's what we're talking
Jennifer's going to be one of my stars on my my May 25th show.
You know what? We might as well just, while we're on it, let's just get to it, man. Let's talk about it. I mean, so we got a show coming up March 25th.
I got a great show coming up May 25th. I went up 25th. And I looked at the Metroplex, and like I said, we used to do a lot of shows back there in the day. Kenny Cigarani, Craig Kikta, Roland Cummings, Brian Zordich fought up there. Kelly Pavlik fought there. And then the Metroplex kind of went down, and whoever ended up taking over has done a wonderful job. I mean, it's beautiful.
Looks great in there.
And we went inside. We did a walkthrough. The people up there opened their arms to us. They gave us a great deal. And it's a beautiful place. It'll hold probably 2,500 people. It's the night of boxing we're going to put in there. We're going to have Rocky Nolfi making his professional debut. Rocky Nolfi owns 3 or 4 all-state insurance companies. He's boxed for me in his amateur days. His family's big in Loew, Nolfi Plumbing. His mom has a catering company. It's just a great family. I've known him for a long time. His dad used to manage Kenny Cigarani.
Okay.
And like I said, Rocky will be making his pro debut. Of course, we're going to have Vinny O'Neill on the card, and we don't know who we're fighting yet, but we might have a real surprise for everyone there. And we got a real barn burner that we're trying to work out for Vinny. And we may even have Popo on the card. We talked to his promoter last night. My son did, from here in Youngstown, and we talked to Tommy, and they were asking us we would consider putting him on our May 25th show. And if we can work out something with the financial part of it, we may put him on even. So we have a great night. We're probably going to end up putting on one other pro fight, and then we're going to have probably 8 to 10 amateur fights. And Vinny's girl, Jen, she'll be making her amateur debut, along with little Zion, a little blonde-haired 9-year-old girl that works out in our gym that's been all over Facebook.
And and her dad, he's tuned in right now, and he said, "Thank you, Jack, for all you do." And he said, "Don't forget to give Kenny the Cobra and Craig Kika some love too. As one of your early fighters there." So
I already said that. That I did have them fighting at the Metroplex and thing. And Craig and Kenny were 2 of my beginning fighters when I was coming up in this sport, and we travel all over the country together with them guys, and they had a great career. Kenny fought Camacho. We fought down in Mountaineer Park a bunch of times. He fought Julio Cesar Chavez. So I mean, we had some great fight with Kenny.
A lot of people think that Kenny beat
I thought he beat Camacho, but when the promoter owned both kids and he looks at the big picture, who makes me more money on TV? Camacho still had the name. I thought Kenny beat him hands down. Kenny was beating Chavez until when Chavez got cut. A friend of mine was sitting next to the ring doctor, and they were getting ready to stop that fight the next round. And Kenny would have won on points because they called it a punch, and it was actually a butt. And they called it a punch, so we would have actually won. And Chavez ended up catching him with a good shot and stopping him. But Kenny had some great moments in his career, as did Craig Kikta. Both of them were right there. Each one of them just lacked a little piece of that pie. There was another perfect case of a kid that was so good in the ring, Kenny Cigarani, but just didn't have that big punch. But the kid could fight, man. He had more heart. I mean, he relentless. just one of the best conditioned kids I've ever had. I mean, to this day, he could probably come in the ring and still spar 6 to 8 rounds. That's just the type of kid he is. You know, he had it all too, man. He had the good looks. He could punch. He could box. You know what I mean? I
got to see Craig at work, so we're gonna leave that good looks part out. I don't need his head swelling.
You know, hey, Craig got mistaken for Arturo Gotti one time out in Las Vegas.
Great story. Tell that story,
Yeah,
by the way,
we
man.
were
It's
out.
a great story.
We actually were out there training for a fight at I believe it was the Silver Slipper. Ray Mancini took us out there, and one of his friends, Al Rodriguez, ran the joint, and we were fighting. So we walked in his gym to get a workout in, and Roger Mayweather, I think it was Roger, was sitting there, and he said, "Hey, champ, how you doing?" Well, Craig thinks Roger Mayweather saying, "Hey, champ," to me, you know, and he's looking at him, and he sees this like blank look Craig's giving him, and he goes, "Yeah, you just fought, man. What are you doing in here?" And Craig, "No, I'm out here to train for a fight." He goes, "You're Arturo Gotti, right?" Craig goes, "No, I'm Craig kicked the kid." And he goes, "Oh." And he just turned around and kind of walked away, you know. But yeah, I mean, no, Craig had it all, man. I just think Craig had other things in his mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think he lost that little bit of desire because he had all the talent in the world. And when you don't have that desire to go keep going, it's time to go. But he had a great career also. Like I said, that kid could box. He could have one of the best defensive fighters I ever had, just powering with his hands. He did everything so well. So yeah, Kenny and Craig were two of my up and coming. They were having my first kids. You know, they were one of my first two pros, and both of them, and we had a great time together.
And you know, and one thing about Craig, man, and Craig still loves the sport. We talk boxing all the time when I see him, man. So definitely, I imagine he was a student of the game then, and still a student of the game, just continuing to watch the sport. In fact, he was at that the fundraiser for us when we watched the Triple G Canelo fight, the first one up there at McMenemy's, or not McMenemy, O'Donnell's, I think it was. Yeah, awesome time. Man, all these places all these Irish places, they're all the same to me, but. Zion says thank you, according to our boy Jason there. So, Jason, thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah. Getting back to that May show, like I said, we're gonna have them 3 pros for sure on the card. We're gonna have 3 or 4 pro shows. We're gonna have fights. We're gonna have probably 8 to 10 amateur fights. Jen's gonna be making her amateur debut. We're putting her. Vinny already knows her opponent, Little Zion. They call her Z. She's going to be on the show. Jackson Buhan from our gym. Keith Burnside's got some kids on.
Okay.
I'm sure Downtown Gym will have some. Since we may be bringing some Pittsburgh guys in on the pro side, we'll probably bring some Pittsburgh amateur kids in. So we're going to have a great show. Like I said, we're also teaming up, and this is very important to us. We're teaming up with the rescue mission for this fight. And they're going to be running a Chinese auction. So anybody out there that would like to donate a basket, gift cards, any restaurants, any of my buddies out there, anybody wants to step up to the plate, and I'm going to be coming after you guys, hitting you up anyway. So if you don't answer me now, I'm still coming knocking. But we're going to team up with them. They're going to be doing Chinese auction. They're going to get I'm going to give them all of the 50-50, and they're going to get some certain proceeds from our food and beverage counter. So we hope they do well. I know they're trying to raise money for a new facility. So anything we can do to help them, we're going to let them in on it. And we're also doing a food drive for upcoming Easter, and our basket is the barrels down at our gym. So anybody that would like to drop off some food for the rescue mission, feel free to do it. We're there from 4:30 to 7:30 Monday through Friday, and like I said, anything we can do to help them out. You were there, I think, Brian, when we went down there for that thing we did, and
yeah.
If nobody has ever done down the rescue mission, and I'm ashamed to say I haven't until that day, it was a real eye opener.
It was.
When you walk through that place, my vision of it was way different than what it was. I didn't realize, like, little kids, teenage kids, that, you got to be embarrassed when the bus drops you off in front of the rescue. I mean, just little things like that was going through my mind, what these kids got to go through mentally, living in the rescue mission. I mean, thank God it's there. Don't get me wrong. But, man, I mean, it was really depressing, but it was great to be there. And I told them guys we'd do something to help them out. And hopefully this little bit that we could do helps them out a little bit.
No, that was a great event that we did down there. And that was right before Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken, that we went down there. And pretty much, I mean, we had Kelly came down for it. Even
all
Raymond
the
saying,
the world champions were
we
there.
had all world champions there. I mean, all the guys that were pretty much fighting on your upcoming card were there, signing autographs, and
so all the trainers and all the listen,
pretty
all
much the Youngstown boxing community, man, really came out in
it was a great
force.
turnout.
And to see the looks on these kids' face when they realize, man, these are pro fighters, you know what I mean? These guys are real champions, and all these kids got a glove to go around and collect signatures. It was really a great experience. But no, you hit it on the head, man. That was an eye opener. I mean, I think sometimes I take it for granted how hard my dad worked, to give me what I've had in life, you know what I mean? And sometimes we take for granted that, what we have in life, even the small things. So, no, definitely an eye-opener, man. And everybody there, that I would serve, was, thanking me or whatever. So, definitely it's great to see that we're getting involved with that again. Jen said, thank you for mentioning the food drive going on. What's that run till? What date are we collecting?
I believe the first week of April, Jen said maybe the first or second week of April.
Okay.
We're gonna do it. So we come back this week. I'm gonna give it a hard push. I had a buddy of mine that his name's Buzz, last name Stelz. He owns a fire prevention company. He puts in fire sprinklers. He came down and donated a couple $100 worth of groceries. He brought a whole boatload of stuff down for us, and I want to give a shout out to him also.
Awesome, man. No, great things for the community. We're about 2 minutes out from break, so hey, we'll just touch up real quick here on a few things that are going to be coming up too before we head out here. As I said it before, man, $10 this upcoming Sunday. Birdside's boxing, spaghetti dinner. What was that place again?
It's Don Vito's. It's a great thing too. I went to his last one he had, and great little dinner you get for the $10.
And that's it, man. I mean, it's all about supporting the Youngstown boxing scene. Yeah, you got Burnside Gym, you got Jack Lowe's Southside Club, you got downtown. But at the end of the day, man, it's just Youngstown boxing coming together. And it's just great to see the sport starting to, I think it's starting to rise a little bit again. I think it's starting to gain some momentum. I mean, they said, about 400,000 pay-per-view buys for the Errol Spence Mikey Garcia fight. I think I saw something.
I haven't seen a number, but that's great.
Something. Have you seen that? The numbers on that one yet?
No, it did pretty well though.
They said it did well,
did the fight.
Especially for two guys that haven't been pay-per-view. But I think that fight ended up being about what we thought it was. I mean, Errol Spence.
Yeah, talking to back in the day, talking like Aram and them guys that has run so many pay-per-view things, like anything over 300, 325, thousand pay-per-view buys are you're on the plus side. Like I know when Kelly fought, I don't know if it was Bernard or whoever he fought when we were on pay-per-view at that one time. We had our option, over 300,000 buys, we get a piece of. Anything under that, we just get a regular purse, So I believe that 300,000 person is the cutoff. So 400,000 for a 147 welterweight fight, like you said, the guys that's never been on pay-per-view before. That's pretty good.
All right, we're going to head out break here. We'll be back here in a moment from the Gessler Propane Studio. Fight night in Youngstown with special guest Jack Loew.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. Look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Hamilton the Pug, Instagram star, and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, and excuse me. Sit up straight, hold doors open, don't speak with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table. Share your things, play nice, and generally treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
And stop picking your nose.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
We are back at it. Kessler Propane Studio here in beautiful Struthers, Ohio. Jack Loew joining us here. And our producer, Jim. Hey, what we got going on with the Youngstown Phantoms coming up, man?
Yeah, coming up Wednesday, March 27th, the Phantoms will be back at the Cavelli Center taking on Team USA. That's going to be a 10 a.m. start. That's going to be a school day game, but plenty of tickets still available for anybody who wants to go on that. You want to get away from work, see some good hockey, call 747-7825. And then they will be back again at the Cavelli Center on Sunday, taking on Team USA again. That's going to be a 5 o'clock start on Sunday. Again, 747-7825. If you can't be there, of course, you can always hear all the action right here on Western Reserve Radio with the voice of the Phantoms, Matt Lipsack.
And I couldn't even memorize spaghetti dinner details over here, but this guy. You said we had a call coming through?
Yes,
Let's
we do.
Patch it through here.
Yep.
Sounds like a fax coming
there
through.
There we go.
Fight Night in Youngstown. Who we got online?
This is Popo.
Popo, what's going on, man? We got Al John. How's it going, brother? I got Jack Loew here. How you feeling, man?
I feel great.
Talking to Jack before you called in here at the beginning. You took a few months off, but you've been in the gym. What would you say? Pretty steady for about 4 months now.
Oh no, he only took like
about
4 months off. He's probably been in the gym now for a good 6-7 months, and like I said, he's been working his butt off. Or we've sparred probably more than we have his whole career. And like I said, when he left, he was extremely sharp. When he sparred that last day with Ford,
yeah,
he looked great.
That's good work for both of them.
Both kids. And I listen, man, we're ready to go Saturday night.
Popo, you still there, my man?
Yeah, I'm still here.
How's Vinny treating you? Is he keeping you out of trouble, or are you keeping him out of trouble?
No, we're doing good. We're here focused. He keeps me focused. He's the one keeping me here in shape. He's maintaining my weight. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Now, after that last fight, and we're not going to talk about too much because we're now looking towards the future, though, but as I've seen you in the gym over the past couple of months, you seem more focused, but you also seem to be enjoying yourself again with the sport of boxing. Would you say that maybe your heart's found boxing again?
I can't say my heart ever left the sport of boxing. It's in my blood.
Yeah.
There's the sport that I know. There's the sport that I'd rather live for the rest of my life till the day I die. But it was more I needed a break. I needed time to think. Where I'm at in my position in life. And, I started thinking a lot. I have a beautiful daughter in my hands, so I got to think of her. I got to put her first. So everything I do with this career from now on is for my daughter.
No, absolutely, man. And you know what? I got a 6-year-old daughter, too, so I know how that goes. I know Jack's, obviously, raised kids. So, when you have kids, man, it becomes a whole different ball game as far as, you're realizing, hey, I got to provide for this kid. They're going to want to go to college one day and stuff.
Guys, I don't think what a lot of people understands is, like, I didn't box, but I got up every morning and I went to work.
Yeah.
And that's just what Popo does. He gets up and he goes to work. The boxing is these guys' livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he means, man. Like, he has to do this to make a living for his family, and that's what he wants to do. So, like I said, I mean, we're hoping to get on the fast track and have at least 4 to 5 fights within this 2019. It's time for this kid to get going. We want to move.
And I think Youngstown wants to see him get going. I mean, everybody knows what the talent he has, Popo. So, no, it's exciting, man. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see this get rolling, man. And, you've been, since, I would say probably the past 3 years, you've been the biggest name in Youngstown boxing, no doubt about it.
He has. Listen, man, I told everybody after Kelly, I'm going to find another one. And I've only said it about a handful of people. And basically Kelly, and Danny Williams, and Willie Nelson, and them guys had it. They kind of let it slip away. Kelly had it, and he grabbed hold of it, and he ran with it, and he won the middleweight championship of the world. And I told everybody I got the next one coming, and now it's his time. but there's no more looking back. There's no more mistakes. We have to put our nose to the grindstone, and we got to go hard every day. And Saturday night, I expect him, and I don't usually say that, but I expect Popo to go across the ring and whoop this kid's butt and take him out of there.
Popo.
Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sitting over here, man. Don't let this guy down, man.
No, I don't expect him to let me down, man. Listen, he's worked extremely hard. This kid has worked extremely hard. Listen, I wouldn't be putting him in a fight if he wasn't ready. He worked, like I said. We talked a lot when he came back into the gym, and he promised me what he would do, and he's lived up to his word. And I told him what I would try to do for him and my son, which is his co-manager with me, that we would try to do. And we got him a promotional company. I'm hoping these guys, take a liking to him and move him along.
And Popo, you're a very likable kid, so no doubt that they will take a liking to. Hey, and we talked. He mentioned it, man. You got some work in with Johnny Ford, who's going to be turning pro from Alliance. I think a multiple-time Cleveland Golden Glove winner, man. Tell us about the work that you got with Johnny Ford, and what do you think about Johnny Ford's game? His fight game and stuff. So, because Johnny's a fan of our show,
yeah.
Tunes in. So,
yeah, with him, it was great. It's like competition.
Yeah.
Everybody goes crazy when there's other people from other gyms, from other states, and from other cities coming to our gym, sparring the best we have here. So it's basically the best one from Alliance was him, and the best one of Youngstown is me. So sparring was great. We had a lot of people stop their training to see us spar. So that was, that kind of meant a lot to us. And after we'd done 6 hard rounds of sparring, toe-to-toe, the whole gym started clapping for us. So that meant how hard I'm training, how hard I'm pushing it.
No doubt about it, man. That was fun watching you guys spar. And hey, one thing I noticed about you, and I'm not really a boxing expert. I love this sport, you know what I mean? But that's why you'll see me, and I talk to Vinny, and I'll talk to Jack. They'll point out things to me as I want to learn more about the sport, so I'm able to, write more, critique more, whatever. But you really seem like you stepped up your inside game a little bit. I mean, I saw you guys both kind of landing some nice shots inside. It was almost like you both had a foot in the tire, but without the tire. You know what I'm talking about? So
yeah.
it was fun to see that. You kind of remind me of the Popo that came out against Duran Vu a little bit.
No, I can say I'm a whole lot better from that one. That Popo, I look back into those videos, that Popo wasn't thinking straight. I was just going for the kill, but I'm more hungry than I used to be from that Vu fight. That Vu fight, I can see it now is mediocre to me because now I have a bigger challenge that I got to take right now, and I'm just going to go across this ring. I'm going to try to rip this kid's head off.
Hey, man, they don't call the Hurt Business for nothing, right?
Listen, when me and Popo, when we and Popo talked like 6 months ago, I said, listen, kid, you have one of the best jabs in the gym. You have one of the best jabs probably in your weight class. You do a lot of, and you got to go to the body. You used to be a vicious body puncher. We had this kid that used to come to his fights and run around the ring and call him the body snatcher. This guy used to go nuts over Popo, but we got away from it. And since he's been back in the gym, when he made that day, when he was sparring with Johnny Ford, even what made it a little bit easier for him, and I don't want to say easy because it was great work, but if he didn't use that jab against Johnny, he'd have had a tough day. And if he didn't go to Johnny's body a little bit, he'd have had a tough day. But that's what I like. When I asked him to do something, he stepped up to the plate. He started working on his body shots. He started working on his jab, and it's helped him tremendously boxing. And I expect to see that Saturday night, or you'll hear my mouth. So, but nah, he's doing great, and like I said, I expect big things out of him Saturday night.
No, I think we're all looking forward. Are you sitting around Vinny by chance?
No, I'm on the all because he got the TV on and everything. I want silence around me.
Oh man, I don't even want to know if Vinny's watching.
And I want to give another shout out. We got a lot of Youngstown people coming up to this fight. So I that's important too, and I think we're going to start building this fan base. And next time we find out a little bit earlier that we're fighting in Atlantic City, we like to get a bus trip to go up there for people. And I think the Tommy LaManna, his new promoter, I think they would love that, and I think that will help us out a lot. But I want to give a shout out to the handful of people that are going up to Atlantic City this weekend also.
No, absolutely, man. I would love to be there, but the mother of my daughters having another baby, so I'll be with her all weekend, and she'll be keeping me probably from trying to watch college basketball. So anybody out there who is going to be at the fight, definitely, man, send me out pictures and stuff like that. I'll find a way to, find the result, write a story. I'll get up on my website ASAP that night. I'll make sure I'm able to cover it even from my bedroom here in lovely Liberty, Ohio. But no, man, Popo, I mean, Youngstown's behind you. And I even told you after that last time out, man, I said, you know what? I said, I'm not turning my back on you, as I know what you can do. And I'm looking forward to hearing that hey, you go in there and tear this guy's head off.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything you want to say to me or Jack before you go and I mean, I don't know what time your bedtime is, when you're on the road or whatever, but anything you want to say or give any shout outs to anybody who might be listening?
I just want everybody to stay tuned because this fight is the fight that's gonna put me somewhere, and I know that. And I'm going to make sure that I impress everyone that makes it here. I'm going to impress Atlantic City for sure. Because if Kelly fought Jermaine Taylor here, then I want to be the second one to impress everyone here.
Absolutely.
I want to set my imprint here.
And did they have fights again not too long ago at Boardwalk Hall, I believe, maybe?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
we're fighting down at. We're not fighting.
You guys are Showboat, the Showboat,
at the Showboat.
Showboat.
Yeah.
But Atlantic City's been kind of trying to get the fights back. They got the sports books down there now and stuff like that. So they're trying to get on the up and up again on the fight scene, I think. So
is there a way for anybody to catch us on TV, on the internet, anything like that?
I don't know if they're doing like a podcast type thing. I don't know what Tommy does, but if we find out, we'll definitely get back to you guys.
Yeah, pass it along and stuff. So no, Popo, man, good luck, man. Bring home a win. And hey, Jack says, this is gonna be your year, man. We're gonna get you busy. We're gonna get that train rolling. And it's going to be strap season soon, man. We're going to get you some belts. So best of luck. Rest up. Tell Vinny to take some pics from weigh-ins for me on Friday so I can get them posted up to my...
So I'll be there. I'll make sure we get them.
We'll get them, and I'll get things up on my website. And after your fight or whatever, I'll give you some recovery time. I'll shoot you out some questions for the website on Messenger and stuff like that. So...
okay.
All right, man. So I appreciate everything you do, man. Best of luck, and bring home a win for Youngstown, my man.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. He's so polite, but I'm hoping he's not that polite on... I mean, honestly, like, the weigh-in between him and Daravu was the most polite thing I ever saw in my life.
No, that's just how he is. I don't. The kid's just such a sweet kid. He really is, and but he turns it up in the ring. You've seen him when he gets in there with a guy like Johnny Ford, and Johnny Ford pushes his button like he did. It brings out the best. It's just like anything, man. I played high school football, and without mentioning names, if you're playing a certain team, you go out there and you have fun. If you're playing your crosstown rivalry, man, it just brings you to that.
He's referring to Ursuline.
No. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder if Matt Emsh's listening in.
No. Listen, I had some great friends all over the city when I play. I'm just saying, there was always teams that weren't doing well that year. I would say, I'm going to get my stats up this year.
We got another call coming through, so we'll take that. Fight Night Live in Youngstown here from the Gessler Propane Studio. Who we got calling in?
I guess I got a new last name.
Oh, Vinny Lyle.
Vinny, what's up, my man?
Hey, Vinny, I could have gave you a worse last name, so.
I missed all that.
Oh, so he was telling we were just talking about Billy Lyle, then all of a sudden he was talking about you, and all of a sudden he said, well, as far as having anybody else in this gym to help, I could ask for any better help than Vinny Lyle.
Vinny Lyle, that's my new name. I hope I don't fight like him.
How's things going up there, brother?
Things are going well, man. Just to grind, you know what I'm saying? Going to the gym and, making sure Popo's, working out and getting his run in and watching what he's eating and stuff. Typical day.
I asked Popo if he's keeping you out of trouble.
Oh, man, nobody keeps me out of trouble. Just ask Jen. Hey, Jack, ask Jack. You got the man right next to you.
Yeah. I've been trying for many years.
Yeah.
Jack relegated me to your seat, so I'm over here in the Vinny seat today.
I saw that. I even posted on thing. I said, "How do you get this seat, man?" He comes in and takes over everything.
Well, here's the thing. Like I kind of lost track of time. My sister was over, and she was behind me, and all of a sudden, like I realized, I'm like, oh man, I gotta go, dude. I didn't roll up in here till 7:55. I walk in here, and Jack's all like, I thought you said you'd be here 20 till.
Hey, well, I forgot until I handed Popo the card to call. I almost forgot to. That's where I was at.
And you guys wonder why I worried a little bit, huh?
You ain't got to worry. We got everything under control.
Famous last words. What could possibly go wrong, right, Vinny?
Nothing can go wrong.
No, everything's...
That's how I live my life until something goes wrong.
And that's how he fights, too. Pulls every dirty trick in the book till the referee warns him.
Right?
That's what I tell him to do.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to get up off the line. You guys have a good night, man. We'll see you on Friday. Brian, I'm going to get some pictures and everything.
My man, I appreciate you.
I'll get with you. Jim.
Vinny, I get in early Friday, Vinny, so I'll see you then.
All right, I'm going to try to work out my return flight home.
Yeah, please do.
Wait, you don't have a return flight home yet?
Not yet.
No, they're trying to keep me down here, trying to put me to work. If they only knew. Right, Jack?
Yeah, I don't know what they're even thinking.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You too, man.
Yeah.
Vinny's wild. He's wild. You know what, though? This website wouldn't be where it was without Vinny O'Neil either. I mean, he when I told him, hey, you know what, I'm going to start this boxing website, all of a sudden, man, his eyes lit up, and he's all like, there's so much we can do. And now that's it, man. I mean, I love boxing, man. I wanted to go out to these shows and stuff like that. Unless Greg Gouldis was writing about, which he doesn't do for every show. I didn't know about the shows. It's sometimes hard to get stuff out there, and I'm not saying that I've helped the sport, but I think I've done my part, and I think I pushed the Vindicator to cover it a little bit more. And me and Vinny doing this, I think we got a pretty decent following. We get, we got a pretty big base out in Pittsburgh. Having Mike McSorley on, the Conway brothers. So, it's just all about everybody doing their part for boxing. And this guy right here next to me, man, is one of the, I know you don't like the hype, but you're one of the legends around this area in the sport, man. I mean, Kelly Pavlik's trainer. I mean, the guys you've had. I mean, Billy Lyell. We talked about that victory over John Duddy. To me, outside of Kelly Pavlik's win over Jermaine Taylor, to me, that's the second most impressive, boxing moment in my life of Youngstown was when Billy Lyell beat John Duddy. I mean, John Duddy was supposed to be in line to fight Kelly Pavlik, right? And he couldn't even get through the number 2 guy in Youngstown. What's that say about Youngstown? And I remember his post-fight press conference, and Jack's all like, "That was a C-list fighter." What are you gonna do without Kelly, man? But no, Kelly was special, man. I mean,
listen, I remember when we fought Bronco McCart. I was sitting with Bronco and his dad the following morning at breakfast, and he told, I think Cameron Duncan was sitting there, and he goes, "You know what, Mr. Loew?" He goes, I've never been hit like that before in my life. He goes, he was hitting me on my wrist, and like I would actually take a step backwards and like look to see if they were broke. He goes, it was just ungodly how hard he hit, and he was just like throwing them out there. And people don't realize that, like what these guys had to go through with Kelly. I know, just catching hand pads, backing up with this kid in the ring. I mean, he was a brute.
I think we can attribute that to Mike and Ricky Pavlik for the beatings he took his whole life. Brothers were a little rough on him.
The first pro fight I ever went to was when Kelly fought at Eastwood Field there, and he fought Rico Kaysen. Yeah, I think it was was he Cincinnati boy, Rico Kaysen?
I don't think so. Or he could have been. I don't know.
But man, he just snapped that dude's ribs. I mean, just
it's
body
one
shot.
of the best body shots I've ever seen.
Oh man, I heard
this kid argued with me afterwards. He was down for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
on the canvas for 10 minutes. And afterwards, he got up, and I was in the ring after they finally got him up, and he goes, "Man, that was a fast count." I looked at him. I said, "Hey, kid," I said, "Do you realize you were on the canvas for 10 minutes?" He says, "Oh man, they counted too slow, or too fast. They counted too fast." I'm like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, he hit him so hard with a body shot, he had no idea he was on the canvas for 10 minutes. Kelly was just an outstanding hitter. He worked, you know, what people don't get, though, I could honestly say Kelly Pavlik was probably, without a doubt, the hardest worker in the gym. I mean, people could say what they want about the kid. When he would step that foot in the gym, it was balls to the wall. I mean, I've seen him break bags, knock them off the hooks. I've seen him bust speed bags. I've seen him brutally beat sparring partners that we were paying $1,200 a week to, and they weren't chumps, you know, former world champs, great fighters we were bringing in to spar with him. And the kid did everything he had to do to win that world title, and he deserved it.
What was it like, you know, just, you know, being through that whole adventure with him and seeing him get that belt? I mean, I couldn't imagine being part of that.
Let me tell you something. It was a ride of my life. You know what I mean? Even if I have another one, it will never be the same. You know, it's like having your first kid. When we knocked out Jermaine Taylor, like I almost passed out in the ring. I got so lightheaded. You know, I was so excited. Like I got so lightheaded. You know, then I seen my son and we embraced, and I have a great picture of me and him. But listen, man, Kelly deserved everything he got out of boxing. He busted his butt doing it. We all did, the whole team. You know, we had a great team behind us. Top Rank, one of the greatest promotional companies of all time. They still are. And you know, he's doing great with his podcast. He was at the Garcia fight, so you know he's kind of getting back in the mix of boxing. Yeah. You know, and I think that's great for him, because he's and you know what I don't understand is why these networks don't have this kid doing commentary. Kelly Pavlik is probably one of the most articulate talkers, one of the best talkers that I've ever listened to doing sports, and he really is. He knows his stuff about boxing. Mm-hmm. You know, he tells it like it is, and like I said, he's no dummy around the sport of boxing. I remember doing interviews with Jim Lampley and them guys, and they were just amazed, like at how well he spoke and how well he answered their questions and talked. And listening to some of these other announcers out there, this kid could be sitting right along him without a doubt.
And you're right, he should be. And I've been blessed enough to actually co-host the Punchline with him on 2 occasions. But you're right, man. He knows his stuff. And it's funny, and he even said that when he came on our show before. He said, you know what, when I was boxing and stuff like that, I didn't really like boxing.
No, that's what he told me one time. I remember asking him one time to come over and watch some pay-per-view fights. And I said, nah, I don't think so. I said, what do you mean you don't think so? All the guys are coming over. You're a boxer. You're a pro boxer. You know what, Jack? He goes, I really don't like boxing that good. He goes, I just happen to be good at it. Yeah, you were.
No, absolutely, man. But no, the Punchline, man. I mean, it's the best out there. I mean, James Dominguez is he's a character. And then you add in Kelly Pavlik, put those two together, and it makes for a good time. And, you know, as they say, unscripted on purpose. They let the words fly a little bit more than I'm allowed to on here. I try to push the envelope a little bit.
I've been real good.
We worry about Vinny. We don't worry about you. As long as we can keep Vinny in check, we're okay.
No, Vinny's amazing, man. He's so funny on here. But no, you're right about Kelly, though. There's no reason why Kelly shouldn't be up there, you know, commenting on these PBC cards or wherever, man. I mean,
absolutely.
Especially when they got like 3 guys commentating, 3 guys in the studio or whatever. You got to make, you know.
You know what? I'm kind of shocked. Like Top Rank, you know, have not put him somewhere, maybe on these ESPN Plus shows. Something. I mean, you know, he's always been loyal to them. He's never said anything negative about Top Rank. You know, he covers their shows. He covers other boxing events, and he covered Lomachenko and them guys on his podcast. He still has a good relationship with them. I'm really curious why they wouldn't offer him something like that.
No, Kelly's got connections, man. I mean, and that's exactly why, man, because he's been loyal to everybody, you know. And he even said, like, you know, when you know, he's got sponsorship with Everlast Show and a sponsor with Title. And, you know, as he said, man, I make sure that I'm, you know, loyal to both of them or whatever and everything. No, but no, Kelly, man, he's on top of everything, and him and James Dominguez, and their insight is the best out there, and it's candid, you know what I mean? But you're not going to find somebody who knows more about the sport than Kelly Pavlik that's out there, you know, commentating the sport right now. So you're right, man. There's definitely going to be something for Kelly Pavlik down the road. That's going to pay him well in the sport of boxing. You know, and I know some people are talking about, you know, the possible comeback, you know, and I don't know what's going to happen with that. And I get people asking me all the time, and I said, you know, the best thing you could do is just let it play out.
Well, how do you think I feel? How many questions you think I've been asked? And I went back and forth on some texts with Kelly, and whatever he decides, I wish him the best of luck. And that's his choice, and his and his family's decision.
And I truly don't think he knows yet.
No, I'm sure if he did, he would have announced it.
Yeah.
Yes or no. So there's just a lot of variables that probably go into it, and nobody knows. And maybe listen, man, the kid's having a great time. He's made a lot of money in boxing. He can enjoy himself. Got 2 beautiful kids. So listen, man. Like I said, whatever he does, I wish him the best.
No,
all I know, I seen a picture of him and Robert Garcia, and man, is he big. he's getting bigger and bigger. Like, I mean, he's a big boy. Wish he would have been that big for a couple of our fights. I would have loved to have a big heavyweight like him.
One of the best pictures I saw from his weekend was a picture of him with Fernando Vargas. I was a huge Fernando Vargas fan, man. I loved El Feroz.
I was never a Fernando Vargas
Never a Fernando Vargas fan.
I love the way he fights. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I used to like to watch his fights. But I used to like to watch him get beat. Like when De La Hoya beat him.
Man, that was a great fight.
We were on the undercard.
That was a great fight.
Yeah, Kelly, we were on the undercard. We were in the back room watching the fight. It was
Mandalay Bay, right?
Yeah.
Mandalay Bay. I just watched that there. I got a smart TV now in my bedroom, so I can pull up YouTube and all those fights. Just punch it in, and I just sat there and I watched that fight. I watched Vargas versus Marco Antonio Barrera the other day.
I'll tell you a great fight before I forget to watch. Harry Arroyo and Terrence Ali. You go back and watch that fight. Harry Roy, Terrence Ali, one of the best fights you'll watch. We've had some great world champs in this area, and I could just picture some of their fights and watch them. I remember like even Greg Richardson, fighting some of the Mexican guys from out California, the Loew brothers. Gabriel Roales, and he had a brother, I can't remember his name, but Richardson used to fight them. Jeff Lampkin beating Mundine for the title. Harry Arroyo and some of the fights he had. Charlie Brown, White Lightning Brown. Terrence Ali here when they fought in Struthers. We had some great guys fight. Some great guys.
Absolutely. What does that say? 30 seconds out?
Yeah, we're about that.
We're about out.
30 something.
Where's our music at?
It's coming. It's coming. You got a little time.
We got a little time. Okay.
We got a little
I haven't
time.
figured out this this monitor yet. See, I guess it tells us that we got 27 and the out music comes.
It's just like follow the thing follow the words along. It's fine. You'll be all right. But you got to get out and see some of these cards. I went to the one in November. Well attended, good time, great fights.
Awesome.
Got to meet some guy, Sean Porter.
Sean Porter
was there.
Yeah, at my last
talked
show.
To him,
Yeah.
Talked to some of the young guys.
I don't know why this guy doesn't talk more during me and Vinny's show. I mean, he knows the sport. He's got a
Vinny
great
doesn't
radio
let
voice.
you in.
I thought he wasn't allowed to talk.
Vinny's got me trained. He can go on forever about boxing.
Vinny's like James Dominguez, man. They could just,
Well, we got a few surprises for our May 25th show. I think we're going to have a few celebrities come in, and I think we're going to surprise a few people with some of our opponents for our fighters too.
So no, it's going to be a great time, man. So for Jack Lowe, Brian, Jim, Popo out in Atlantic City, Vinny, thanks for calling in. Popo is going to get that win, getting it back on track. Remember, spaghetti dinner this upcoming Sunday in Struthers for Burnside Boxing, and May 25th. Metroplex in Liberty, Ohio, and I can take an Uber to that, so I'm good to go. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks, and we're going to have another exciting show lined up for you guys. For Jack, for Brian, we're out. Keep your hands up, protect yourself at all times, Youngstown.
You're listening to WKKX-DB, Western Reserve Radio, the radio home of the Youngstown Phantoms, part of the Live 365 Network and SB Nation.
Quicken Loans presents the Sports Flash, driven by Jeep on Western Reserve Radio. In the men's NIT last night, Dayton gets knocked off by Colorado, 78-73 the final. Clemson advanced past Wright State, 75-69. Tonight in Cincinnati, Xavier squares off with Toledo. The winner moves on to battle Texas. The Cavaliers at home tonight hosting the Bucks. Milwaukee with a 3-game lead over Toronto atop the Eastern Conference. The Flames beat the Blue Jackets 4-2 last night. Columbus has dropped to 5th in the Metropolitan Division, barely hanging on to the last wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. Dougie Hamilton scored the shootout winner, and Peter Mrazek stopped all 3 Pittsburgh shots in the extra, and the Hurricanes battled back to beat the Penguins 3-2. Justin Williams scored the tying goal with 1:56 left in regulation. Spring training, Pittsburgh beat Detroit 3-1. Cincinnati 6-5 over the White Sox. Cleveland beat the Dodgers 4-2. Jeep's the most awarded SUV brand ever. Take advantage of Jeep Freedom Days now at your local Jeep dealer. The Sports Flash is driven by Jeep, Chuck Sanders, Western Reserve Radio.
You're the family chef, but with homework, practices, email, getting a good meal on the table is tough. Sometimes the best choice is the easy choice. Delicious Bob Evans mashed potatoes and mac and cheese, made with ingredients like real milk, butter, potatoes, and cheese. Bob Evans sides are ready in the microwave in 6 minutes, and they're the perfect complement to any meal. Once your family tries them, it'll be love at first bite. Get Bob Evans sides today in the refrigerated section at your favorite grocery store.
Bob Evans down on the farm. Let's have a chat about your debit card, the card you use for the things you buy every day. What if you could get cash back every time you bought those things? Well, now you can. Introducing Discover Cashback Debit. Just open a Discover bank account and start earning 1% cash back on up to $3,000 in debit card purchases every month, automatically. Plus, there are no monthly fees or minimum balances. Now you can get cash back on the way you like to pay. Open a Discover bank